Hey, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Captain Taylor here with SaltyScales.com. Today's topic of discussion is replacing the manufacturer's drag washers in your Shimano reel. If I had one complaint about those reels, it's the flimsy washers that they put in from the manufacturer that completely deteriorate after a few good fish. And I mean, when I say deteriorate, I've caught some fish like Jack Crevilles, for example, that literally burn up the manufacturer's washers. So what did I do? I replaced them out with these Carbontex drag washers. It's a simple fix. They're cheap. You can get them on eBay, and I'm going to show you how to replace them. Let's get to it. Alright guys, so what we're going to do is change out these drag washers to the Carbontex drag washers. And a few essential things that you'll need is this reel butter grease. We're going to be reapplying the grease on there, maybe some reel butter lube to touch a few points on the reel that may need cleaning and lubing. And then of course guys, this is the Ardent Reel Cleaner. This is great for removing any debris, excess salt, stuff like that from the reel. So the very first thing you want to do is go ahead and remove your cap here. Alright, so what we want to do is go ahead and remove the spool from the reel. You can set the reel aside because you won't even be using that unless you're cleaning it. Alright, so you can see in here guys, there's this little spring, so to speak, and this little metal spring is what holds the existing washers in place. So you want to go ahead and remove this. You want to be careful because it'll fly out of there. And just gently work it out of this little groove that it's in. It looks like that. And what I like to do is just lay the parts down in the order that I take them out, so that way you don't have any questions on where they go. Alright, so now I'm just taking out the existing washers. That's the very top. And here are the washers you're going to be replacing. These things are paper thin, flimsy, and when it gets too hot and too much pressure gets applied to that drag, these literally disintegrate, and you know, they're no good. They're useless. So those are the drags that we're replacing. Now you're going to see that in between those are metal washers. So you want to put them in order just as you would as they are in the reel. This is the very final one. So actually, if you want to put these in order, it would go like this. Alright, so you can see I placed them all in order. This is the very top, or I should say this is the very first washer, and this is the one that we're going to replace. Second, another one that we're going to replace. The metal washer, another one we're going to replace. And that's all there is. So what I like to do is go ahead and clean out the inside of this here. Alright, so I take that Ardent Reel Cleaner and I just go in here and remove all the excess grease and oil that's sitting in the spool. And the reason being is because we're going to add our own nice and fresh grease. It's not too bad. This is a fairly new reel. You'll find that a lot of times I'll upgrade these on brand new reels because, like I said, those washers don't last very long. So it's nice and clean now. So what you want to do, very first step, is go ahead and apply a good amount of grease to these washers. And you just want to rub it in. You don't get too excessive, but a generous amount to where it evenly coats the washers, all you need. I'm just getting the grease on here nice and evenly. And you're going to notice right off the bat a very noticeable difference in the thickness of these washers. And I'm a really big fan of this reel butter, guys. If you haven't heard of it, check it out. You can get it on Amazon. I think they even sell it at Walmart. I've never had these burn up. like I have the default manufacturer one. So it's not impossible, but it's unlikely. Alright, so I have all the pieces greased. Now what you want to do is lay them out in the same order. What I did was I removed all of the old washers that we replaced and laid them aside, and put the new washers in their place, so you can go ahead and add them on in the order that they were removed. So let's do that. Alright, first things first, we have the Carbontex washer. You want to make sure everything is laying flush, so take your screwdriver and gently just lay it down there. I've already applied a generous amount of grease. Here goes the next washer. Actually, let me put a little grease on the bottom of this. Alright, so go ahead and put that in the reel. Now we have another Carbontex drag washer. Put that over top. Make sure it's nice and flush. And you have your metal washer. You want to make sure it goes in and falls right into the little grooves. There's 2 little grooves specifically for this metal washer. And you want to make sure that falls nice and flush. Just like that. And just make sure you push it down a little bit. Now you'll have 2 more. One more Carbontex drag washer, pre-greased. Lay it flat. And lastly, we have this metal washer that goes over top of all the washers, and then your little clip, which is right here. Now this little clip, you'll have a groove specifically for it. Just push it until you hear an audible pop, and you'll also feel a click, and that lets you know that now everything's properly secure, and that'll prevent these washers from coming out under load. So you could apply a little bit more grease to the top of this if you want. Don't get crazy. And now she's ready to be assembled again. And while you have it all broke down, you may want to go ahead and grease and lube some of the moving components on the reel. Go ahead and just add your spool. You just turn it until it seats all the way down. And put your dial, your drag dial back on, or the tensioner. And continue to turn until it's firmly secure on the reel. And then of course you can adjust it or calibrate it to get the drag that you want. So that's another thing. You want to work it a little bit. Make sure that the drag's not sticking. And this is butter smooth now. And you're going to notice a big difference, especially when you get into those big game fish, and you're not going to have failures. I've literally had these particular washers, these ones that I removed, come up. They were so bad that they were literally coming out of the crevices of the reel, just from being under load or duress. So change them out, guys. It only takes a minute. Shimano's got to step up their game with this. They make a great reel, but they go cheap on their washers. So hey, if you liked the video, give it a thumbs up, comment below, and subscribe if you haven't already. Till next time, we'll see you on the water.